Good afternoon, YouTubers, friends, and family. rvDebs here, and it is Thursday. It's just a little chilly out, so I actually wore, because I don't think I'll be able to wear it for long, but I wore my kimono that I got from Dia and Co. It's the only thing I kept from the last box. It's nice. But it's going to be so warm in Texas that... yeah, I won't be wearing it probably till autumn. But I am wearing it today because it's like high today in the 60s. And I just got a couple of new things. I ordered a couple of beads. And I got some pretty beads. And I never did show this. When I got that bunch of really neat beads and findings from Barney and LaRue a couple of weeks ago, they had sent me this amethyst beads, and I didn't really have them before. So I made this really interesting long necklace. Very pretty beads. And these are just cool. So it's kind of long. Let's see. There. It hangs like that. And in the sunlight, it's beautiful purple. Really. You can't see it out here as well. But it's very pretty. So I put that on my Etsy shop. It's a little expensive, but it took me a long time to make. Plus, those are all real amethyst beads and stones. So anyway, also... I just got these really cool looking beads. Let me see if I can show you them. They're kind of greens. I'm going to make something with them. I'm glad you guys enjoy me telling you about my life, my story videos. I've had quite a colorful life, you know, definitely not a boring one. And I'm glad, you know, living in Knox City in a small town actually is good. It feels good to just have a little sweet town to live in, and not a lot going on, actually. But that's what's going on, not much, and I'm kind of glad. It's a chilly day, and we're supposed to have tomorrow and the next day rain. Come on, Lily, let's take a walk. Yeah, she looks better today. I have to, like, put medicine in her food and hope she eats it. She did eat her dinner, though. Of course, I made her sirloin hamburger with carrots and string beans and peas. Right, Lily? Right, Rosie? Rosie says, yeah, I eat anything. This one's picky. But it's like, you know, probably 64 degrees or something. Tomorrow won't get out of the 50s. But it's supposed to be raining 2 days in a row. But today's beautiful. I love it. I love this kind of weather. It's Thursday afternoon, getting ready for another weekend. We're having dinner tomorrow, Saturday night, with Kathy's mom. Mary's making a turkey dinner for, I guess, I don't know, Mother's Day. Always something going on, right? Yeah. I love my little home. You know, guys, don't get me wrong, but it's really gotten smaller as I've stayed longer. Hey, just because you see something, go. No. Sometimes she chases cats. Get home. Get home. Anyway, yeah, it's a nice place. I love my little RV, but, you know, after 4 years, it's easy to grow out of it, and I could use something bigger and more sturdy for, you know, showers. That's why the back window is covered in metal, because of hail. And the other day I heard it hitting it. Yeah. Now this grass in here is safe. We don't use any chemicals. So she can eat that. Come on, Rose. Well, it is Friday night. I took all my makeup off, except for I put a little bit of lipstick on earlier. But anyway, I wasn't going to do a video, and then I really hadn't done too much videoing. Plus, I got an email from the Haddon Ian company, the lady that is the one that offered me the tea kettle. She said, would you like to review and try out a frother? A frother. So I checked out the frother. It's an electric frother. And it will, make cappuccino foam. You can do hot and cold. There's 2 different settings. I saw a video on it. And it's supposed to be like the ideal frother. So I said, sure, send the frother. I'll show you when I get it. And it's probably going to be good for bulletproof coffee, because I, mix the cream in. I actually think it'd be fun to even just do a regular half and half and just top my coffee off. But I'll do it. I want it. Send it. That's what I said. Send it. Oh my goodness. And then this thing, I don't know if it's going to be, but inside the box with the kettle, it says, and I don't know if I can get it or not because I didn't pay for the electric tea kettle. It says free electric food chopper. In a constant effort to provide the best products, we select customers like you at random to tell us how you use your Haddonian electric kettle and rate the product, the quality, on a scale of 1 to 5 on Amazon. In exchange for this review, we will send you a Black & Decker 1.5 cup electric food chopper, which I could use. It says, please email your product review, and it gives me the email and an order number. I don't have an order number, so I'm not even sure I can get this. But I wouldn't mind that little chopper. That would be perfect, because I only want a little chopper. I don't need a big, huge chopper. I don't know. I'm going to try, see if they'll send me the chopper. Storytime, YouTubers. Yes. This is the story, and the true story, of Kathy and I. We did the Renaissance Fair in Tuxedo, New York. We did it for 5 years in a row. Every year we would go up to it was like up in the mountains, about an hour from not even an hour from the city, maybe 45-minute drive down the mountain to Manhattan. The first couple years we had a pop-up camper. And that was the bummer because, mosquitoes, and we didn't have air conditioning in the first pop-up. I got millions of mosquito bites one summer. So then I put an ad in the this little neighborhood paper up there, Monroe, New York. And this guy answered the ad. And his name was Robert. And Robert said, I have a house like 2 miles from the Renaissance Festival in a beautiful place called Clinton Woods, which really is gorgeous. And he says downstairs there's 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. And I thought, oh great, how much is the rent? Because we were looking to rent for the summer. He said, well, I'll tell you what. He says, free. All I ask for is you guys help me clean up the house, and a free pass to the Renaissance Fair, like as if he worked for us. So he loved the fair. I said, wow, Kathy, that was a good idea. So we accepted that offer, and the first year we got up there, and it was really nice. Like 2 beautiful bedrooms and a bathroom and separate entrance, and I brought the dog, and he all week long he was in Manhattan. He had a job. His family was in like the diamond business, so he would be working Monday through Friday, and on Saturdays he'd come up to the mountain, and he had a beautiful bedroom upstairs and a jacuzzi bathroom, and it was a mess when we got there. So Kat and I cleaned up his house. He was a pack rat. That's a story in itself. He just didn't throw anything away, literally. He would open up a box and wrap it. Wrappers would just be there. So we cleaned up the place. It looked so pretty. He had a sunken living room with a big wood stove, and really nice place. And it was ours all week. And even when he got there, he would go into his room pretty much and hang out on the computer, because in those days, I hadn't even been on a computer. He was the first person that put me on America Online, Prodigy, what else? CompuServe. I mean, I was really like into it. Kathy didn't want to get on, so she would be more like the nature girl. She'd go out in the backyard. It was just mountains, just trees and forest. And she would go out there and walk, and I'd be like in his room enjoying the computer and stuff. Hey, Lily. She's playing, so she's feeling better. Rosie, because it's been raining, Rosie's under the sofa. Anyway, so that was the first year. First year worked out pretty good. We stayed for the full 8 weeks, and then we went home. The next year we did the same thing. We were invited back, so we went up the mountain, and we would go to New York City because it was only 45 minutes away, and we would enjoy the heck out of it. Just had so much fun. And the food in New York City is the best. So anyway, this next year that we went up there, we had a great time. We did very well at the fair. He loved weekends. He would, walk around the fair, and just was happy that, he was a gentleman. He was a nice guy. He was in his 40s. So were we, as a matter of fact. And that was the interesting winter of our discourse, as Kathy would say. I think that's how we put it. So Kathy had never seen, she'd never seen, what do you call it, snow. So I thought, well, we don't really have any plans in Florida either. I mean, we would go back and have to rent a place for the off season and for the winter. So we stayed, and we thought, well, we'll stay until, we see some snow, and then we'll go home. And we enjoyed it. October was beautiful. If you look it up, Tuxedo, New York, there's lakes. There's lakes, and the trees turn beautiful colors that I had never seen such beautiful autumn. Nor had Kathy. And we just enjoyed the place. And then Thanksgiving time came around, and still hadn't had any snow. We made a nice Thanksgiving dinner for Robert, and his mom came up, and it just was a really nice place. And then I don't remember when it started, but it started to snow. And it snowed, and it snowed, and it snowed, and it didn't stop snowing. As a matter of fact, after it snowed for several days, then it started having ice rain. It was like 1995. I think that was like one of the worst winters in that area. It was a blizzard. It was 10 below. At one point, it was 10 below zero in the house. Not in the house, but outside. And I remember us opening the sliding glass patio doors upstairs, because it was upstairs and downstairs, and there was a wraparound kind of a balcony, and it was 10 below zero, which I was not used to, and Kathy for sure. And I just remember how it hurt to breathe. And we were sort of stuck. Not just sort of stuck, we were stuck. At one point, I wondered why his driveway had a long rope. It went from the top of the hill, at the very top, because it was like a real steep driveway, and then an area that was flat that you could park your vehicles. But you had to get up the hill. And it was so snowed and iced that we couldn't get up the hill anymore. So we were stuck at the bottom of the hill. And even Robert wasn't coming on the weekends because it was such bad weather. So we were like snowed in. And it was crazy. You've heard of snow, where deprivation of light, you could go nuts. Well, I think both of us were absolutely going crazy. And we weren't, able to make any money up there either. And I'm sitting I was on the computer. I was on Prodigy, CompuServe, America Online, and I was chatting with people, and she was doing her own thing, and It was nuts, really. And I was talking to this one man. I never met him in person, and I never wanted to meet him. He was a married man, and I would talk to him on the phone. It was almost like I was his shrink. We would have phone, I hate to say phone sex because that sucks, but kind of like sexy talk, and he told me, I was just someone he loved to talk to, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into my details on it, but it was right after Christmas, and we were still stranded. And, he's telling me that he was someone who came up with Quicken back in the day, and a very wealthy man, and told me that during Christmas they went to Long Island or the Hamptons or wherever they said they went, and he had 8-year-old twins, and they bought him each personal computers, and in those days a personal computer was a couple grand, easy. And I was listening, and I was depressed because I couldn't even leave the house. I didn't even have a winter jacket. We used to use Robert's boots, and I'd stuff like a sock in the toe because they were way bigger on me. In one of his big jackets, he was a 400-pound guy, so he had a lot of stuff. But put backpacks on. We would backpack down the hill to the car, and then take a shovel and get all the ice and stuff behind the car away so we could back out and go to the grocery store, which was just a small store not too far. And they did clear the roads, but they didn't clear our driveway. Anyway, so we really were at our wits' end. It was heavy, and the weather was horrible. It just wouldn't let up. This guy I was talking to on the phone, he's telling me all about a wonderful life he has, and what a great Christmas, and I'm like not really reacting nice. And at one point he said, "You're not, Deb, you're not sounding like your normal self. You don't sound very happy." So I said to him, "I'm not real happy." I said, he knew that we were artists from the Renaissance Fair. I said, "We haven't made any money. We're stuck up in the mountains. We can't even get out of here. And, we don't have winter coats or boots or nothing. So no, I'm not happy." And he said, "I didn't realize that." He said, "Wait a minute, listen, let me help you. Hold on, I'm going to go get my checkbook." I was like, "You're going to get your checkbook?" I yelled out, Kathy, she was in the other, downstairs. She was, I think, downstairs. I'm yelling, "Kathy!" She comes up, and I said, "He went to get his checkbook." He comes back to the phone. He said, "Would $2,000 help you out? Would that be enough?" I'm like, "Yes, that would help us out a lot. We could go home. We could fill the car up and get out of here." So, there was we had a P.O. box at the Tuxedo, New York post office, which was close to a little grocery store, an IGA, as a matter of fact, which we have here in Knox City. And a few days later, we got a check and deposited it, and it went through. And soon after that, it was like the end of January, it started to stop snowing, and Robert, the guy that owned the house, he knew we were really needing to leave, so he got a neighbor that had a backhoe, and the guy worked all day long, backhoeing this driveway and salting it and backhoeing and salting it. He never really got it completely clear, and we never got a U-Haul, so all our stuff that we U-Hauled in, we weren't able to bring home. But it was, I made 3 starts. I backed down the hill and kind of a running start up the mountain, up this driveway, and we got to right at the top. I couldn't even go all the way up. We parked where we could. We got as far as we could. We packed all our clothes and as much of our stuff that we could stuff in the wagon, and we left quite a bit. And we wound up driving, out of there, it was like the beginning of February. I think the very first few days of February. We drove from the mountains in New York all the way to near Maryland, near Baltimore area. And it was snowing and it was icy, and we stopped and got gas. And, you know, when I was at the gas station, the man said, "Oh, you're not planning on driving over the," I guess it's like a bridge that takes you to I guess it takes you from Maryland to D.C. I think that's what it does. He says you needed to get a motel, so we stopped and got a motel. And in the morning, we looked out the window, and the whole place was covered in white snow. We couldn't even get our car out of the parking lot there. Luckily, some very nice people, some nice guys with shovels, got us out onto the main road. And the whole road from the Baltimore, I think it's the Baltimore to DC into, was ridges of ice and just ice and bumpy. And we went maybe on Highway 95. If we were going 15 miles an hour, that was pretty good, because it was that treacherous on the roads. And you couldn't even pull off the highway, because if you pulled off the highway, we saw cars that went off the highway and there was they just went into a snowbank where they weren't cleared. We just held on and got to Richmond, Virginia, and spent the night there. And we finally got back to Florida. But that was our winter of unbelievable, the winter of our discourse. I think that's the right word. So that's a story that Kat and I can definitely, we think about it and talk about it. It is the one winter that we'll never forget. It was so good to get back to Florida, where right after Richmond, Virginia, it started to be where there wasn't, the snow was gone, But, I hope you enjoyed this story. And it is a true story, and there was a lot to it, but I made it as I tried to shorten it a little bit, because I could have still been talking about it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.